Few know, but our spiritual life isn't random. There's an invisible force guiding our steps, choices, and even the most unexpected encounters. Today we'll reveal the 3 spiritual beings that shape your destiny, according to EDGAR CAYCE's revelations. Get ready, because this discovery will change the way you understand your journey on Earth. The hidden meaning of your challenges will finally be revealed. The first being that accompanies every human being is the spiritual guardian, the one who carries the sacred mission of protecting their purest essence. This is not just an ordinary angel, but a higher consciousness specifically assigned to preserve the divine spark you carry within. It knows every fiber of your soul, every wound that needs healing, every potential waiting to be awakened. Its presence is constant, even when you cannot perceive it, acting as an invisible shield against the forces that could divert you from your sacred path. It is the one who whispers in your ear in moments of greatest confusion, offering clarity when all seems lost. This guardian acts silently, creating subtle signals, powerful intuitions, and even invisible barriers to prevent choices that could delay your greater purpose. Have you ever felt that strong intuition that prevented you from making a potentially disastrous decision? That inner voice that warned you about a dangerous person or situation? This is the direct action of your spiritual guardian, working tirelessly to keep you on the path of light. It plants seeds of wisdom in your mind through dreams, meditations, and moments of inner silence. Its language is subtle, but its protection is absolute, creating a dome of sacred energy around you. Recognizing its presence is like learning to hear the whisper of the soul amidst the chaos of the modern world. It manifests itself through synchronicities that seem like small miracles, those moments when you find exactly what you need at the right time. It's the one who places the perfect book in your hands, who brings you across the right person at the perfect moment, who steers you away from accidents you never even noticed. Its protection extends beyond the physical, also encompassing your emotional and mental health, creating a force field that repels negative energies. When you learn to recognize it, each day becomes a sacred dance between your conscious will and its divine protection. Your soul's guardian has a panoramic view of your earthly journey, seeing not only who you are today, but who you have the potential to become. He knows your deepest fears, your most secret dreams, and the purpose your soul chose before you even incarnated on this plane. Therefore, his interventions don't always make sense in the present moment, but always prove perfect in retrospect. He's the one who closes doors that seemed promising, but would actually lead you away from your mission. He's the one who opens paths that initially seem difficult, but that lead you exactly where you need to be. Before we move on, we want to feel the power of your presence. Comment below your name and from which city, state, or country are you watching us. Let's map this current of light and show how far our message is reaching. Write in the comments, and let's expand this energy together. Your connection with this guardian being is strengthened through the practice of gratitude and conscious recognition of its presence. When you take a few minutes each day to give thanks for the protection you receive, even without clearly seeing it, you create a more direct channel of communication with it. It responds to this gratitude by intensifying its protection and making its signals clearer and more perceptible. It's like tuning a radio frequency. The more you adjust your spiritual antenna, the clearer the message becomes. The guardian of your soul is your first and most loyal companion on this earthly journey, the one who never abandons you, even in the darkest moments. Understanding the existence of your spiritual guardian completely transforms your relationship with life's challenges. You no longer feel alone and abandoned, recognizing that there is a loving and powerful force constantly working on your behalf. Every obstacle becomes an opportunity for growth. Every difficulty, a chance to strengthen your faith and your connection with the divine. The guardian doesn't remove all challenges from your path, as this would impede your spiritual growth, but ensures that you never face more than you can handle. Their presence is living proof that you are unconditionally loved by the universe, regardless of your mistakes or imperfections. Besides the protective guardian, there is another being that directly influences your most important decisions: the spirit of the mission, the one who carries the sacred responsibility of ensuring that you fulfill what you promised before you were born. This being has a clear vision of the spiritual contract your soul signed before incarnating, knowing every detail of the purpose you came to Earth to fulfill. It is not concerned with your physical safety or material comfort, but exclusively with the achievement of what truly matters to your spiritual evolution. Its energy is intense and focused, like a compass that always points to the true north of your existence. It is the one who ignites that inner fire that makes you feel there is something greater waiting for you. The mission being directs seemingly chance encounters, opens doors that seemed impossible, and closes paths that, although comfortable, would lead you away from your true calling. Have you ever felt like certain people came into your life at the exact moment you needed them, or that opportunities arose just when you were ready to take the next step? This is the direct action of this being, orchestrating a symphony of synchronicities that lead you inexorably toward your destiny. It works through external circumstances, shaping your reality to create the perfect conditions for you to awaken to your purpose. Each coincidence is, in fact, a carefully planned intervention by this guardian of your mission. We often mistake obstacles for failure, when in fact they are precise adjustments of this being to prevent you from abandoning your true calling. That job you lost, which seemed like a tragedy, may have been the liberation you needed to discover your true calling. That relationship that ended painfully may have been the push you needed to reconnect with your inner strength. The being of mission doesn't hesitate to dismantle seemingly solid structures if they are impeding your spiritual growth. They see beyond appearances, understanding that sometimes it is necessary to destroy in order to rebuild something much more beautiful and authentic. Their actions may seem cruel at the moment, but they always reveal themselves as merciful when we understand the bigger picture. This being communicates through a constant restlessness you feel when you're off target, a feeling that something important is missing from your life. It's that inner voice that whispers, "You were born for something greater," even when everything seems to be going well on the surface. It plants seeds of sacred discontent, making you question whether you're truly living the life you were meant to live. This restlessness isn't depression or pathological dissatisfaction, but rather the call of your own soul, recognizing that there's a greater mission waiting to be fulfilled. It's what makes you lose interest in activities that once brought you pleasure, but no longer serve your spiritual growth. The mission being works intensively through your dreams and moments of inspiration, planting visions of the future you can create if you remain aligned with your purpose. Those recurring dreams about a specific activity, those ideas that come out of nowhere and keep you excited for days, those visions of a better future that seem to come from another dimension. These are all direct messages from this guardian of your mission. It shows you not only what you can become, but also the lives you can touch and transform in the process. It is through these visions that it fuels your motivation and keeps the fire of your determination alive, even when the path seems long and difficult. Recognizing and honoring the presence of the mission being means accepting that you didn't come to Earth simply to live an ordinary, comfortable life. You are the bearer of unique gifts, a specific combination of talents and experiences that the world needs. This being doesn't allow these gifts to remain dormant, creating situations that force you to use and develop them ever further. It is relentless in its determination to see you shine to your full potential, even if it means pushing you outside your comfort zone repeatedly. Your partnership with this sacred being transforms your life into an epic adventure of self-discovery and service to the world. The third being that shapes your destiny is perhaps the most misunderstood of all, the being of karma, the one who brings to light the unresolved lessons of past existences and present experiences. It is not a harsh judge punishing your mistakes, nor an executioner who delights in your suffering, but rather a rigorous teacher who recreates precise scenarios so that you can finally learn what you need to learn. This being possesses the complete memory of all your actions, thoughts, and choices across multiple lifetimes, carrying with it the Akashic record of your soul. It knows every spiritual debt you have incurred, every wound you have caused, and every missed opportunity for growth. Its role is to ensure that no important lesson is forgotten or ignored, even if it means repeating painful patterns until you awaken. The being of karma forces the soul to confront its own shadows, mirroring back to you exactly what you need to see about yourself. If you were proud in past lives, it will create situations that will humiliate you until you learn humility. If you were greedy, it will place you in positions where you will experience scarcity until you understand the value of generosity. If you hurt someone through betrayal, it will attract people who will betray you until you learn the true value of loyalty. Every painful experience is an accurate mirror, showing aspects of yourself that need to be transformed. This being does not act out of revenge. but out of deep love for your spiritual evolution, knowing that only through conscious confrontation can you free yourself from the patterns that imprison you. It's karma that attracts difficult people, challenging situations, and trials that seem to relentlessly repeat themselves in your life. That type of person who always shows up in your relationships and drives you crazy in a specific way, those patterns of conflict that recur in different contexts but with the same emotional core, those financial, professional, or family situations that return like an echo from the past. All of these are carefully crafted by the being of karma, offering you infinite opportunities to react differently, to choose compassion where you once chose attack, to find peace where before you found only conflict. It is tireless in its persistence, recreating the same lessons with slight variations until you finally master them. However, each repetition is a loving invitation to act differently, to choose compassion where you once chose judgment, and finally transform what was once a prison into total liberation. The being of karma is not interested in eternal punishment, but in real and lasting growth of your consciousness. Each time you face a karmic situation and choose to respond with love instead of fear, with forgiveness instead of resentment, with understanding instead of judgment, you break a little more of the chains that bind you to the past. It's like solving a cosmic puzzle. Each piece in the right place releases previously blocked energy, allowing you to access new levels of wisdom and compassion. The ultimate goal is not perfection, but a deep understanding of the universal laws of love. The being of karma works through emotional patterns that repeat themselves until they are fully understood and transformed. You may notice that you always react the same way to certain provocations, that you always feel hurt by the same attitudes, that you always find yourself involved in the same types of drama. These patterns are golden opportunities for spiritual growth, clear signs of where your consciousness still needs to expand. The greater the emotional charge of a situation, the greater the opportunity for learning it represents. The being of karma is especially active in intimate relationships, as it is in this area that our deepest wounds and most ingrained patterns surface with greatest intensity. Understanding the workings of the karmic being completely transforms your relationship with suffering and life's challenges. Instead of asking yourself, "Why is this happening to me?" you begin to ask, "What is this situation trying to teach me?" Instead of feeling like a victim of circumstances, you recognize yourself as a co-creator of your own learning journey. Every difficult person becomes a teacher in disguise. Every obstacle an opportunity to strengthen spiritual muscles you never knew you possessed. The karmic being is, in fact, one of your greatest allies on the journey home, toward the full understanding that you are much more than your apparent limitations, much more powerful than your fears, and infinitely more loving than your past wounds can express. These three sacred beings do not work in isolation, like separate forces competing for your attention, but harmoniously intertwine like golden threads of a single cosmic fabric, together constructing the complex and beautiful tapestry of your destiny. Imagine a celestial orchestra where each musician has their own unique score, but all play the same grand symphony. This is the nature of the collaboration between the guardian, the mission being, and the karma being. They have constant and perfect communication with each other, continually adjusting their actions to create the most conducive conditions for your spiritual growth. When one acts, the others immediately adjust, ensuring that no intervention negatively interferes with the work of the others. It is a cosmic dance of absolute precision, where every movement is calculated to produce maximum benefit for your soul. While the guardian protects your divine essence from harmful influences, the mission being guides your steps toward your sacred purpose, and the karma being presents the lessons necessary for your evolution. This sacred triangulation creates a force field around you that simultaneously protects, directs, and educates. For example, the guardian might protect you from an accident that would derail you from your mission, while the mission being uses this same avoided event to direct you toward an important encounter, and the karma being seizes the opportunity to teach you about gratitude and presence. It's a teamwork of a sophistication our conscious mind can barely comprehend, a cooperation between dimensions that operates 24/7 without pause or rest. What you call coincidence, those magical moments that seem orchestrated by the universe itself, are often the result of the combined and harmonious action of these three spiritual forces. That chance encounter, with someone who changed your life. That opportunity that arose just when you needed it most. That difficult situation that ultimately turned out to be a blessing in disguise. These are all manifestations of the cooperation between your three spiritual guardians. They work through the natural laws of synchronicity, attraction and energetic resonance to create a web of interconnected events that serve your highest good. It's as if they were invisible directors of a cosmic film where you are simultaneously the protagonist and the spectator, discovering the plot as it unfolds. This is why certain moments in your life seem charged with an almost magical synchronicity, as if the universe itself were conspiring in your favor. In these special moments, you can feel the tangible presence of the sacred, a sense that something much greater than yourself is orchestrating the events around you. It's the coordinated action of your three guardians, creating windows of opportunity, moments of grace where the veil between dimensions thins, and you can glimpse the true interconnected nature of existence. These experiences are not accidents or illusions, but conscious gifts from your spiritual guardians, reminders that you are never alone and that there is a greater plan unfolding perfectly. The interaction between these three beings also explains why you sometimes feel seemingly contradictory impulses. The voice that protects you may seem to be in conflict with the voice that pushes you to action, or the lesson you need to learn may seem incompatible with the mission you need to fulfill. In fact, these apparent tensions are part of a larger process of integration and balance. Each being works with a different temporal perspective. The guardian focuses on the present moment, the mission being on the life journey, and the karma being on the complete cycle of multiple existences. When their guidance seems conflicting, it is a sign that you are being called to a higher level of understanding, where apparent opposites reveal themselves as complementary aspects of the same greater truth. Recognizing this sacred interaction transforms your life into a conscious spiritual adventure, where you learn to dance with the invisible forces that have always been by your side. You stop fighting circumstances and begin to seek the greater pattern, the hidden message, the gift disguised in each situation. Your life becomes a constant dialogue with the divine, a sacred conversation where you learn to recognize the different voices of your guardians and interpret their messages with ever greater clarity. It's like learning a new language, the language of the soul, where symbols, synchronicities, and intuitions become words in a sacred vocabulary that connects you directly with the wisdom of the universe. The dream realm is the sacred territory where these three spiritual beings find their most direct and pure channel of communication with your waking consciousness. When you fall asleep, the barriers of your conscious mind dissolve, allowing your spiritual guardians to whisper directly to your soul through images, symbols, and deeply meaningful dream experiences. Your soul guardian often appears in dreams as a protective figure. It could be a luminous angel, a powerful animal that guides you, a wise person offering accurate advice, or even a golden light that envelops you in moments of dream danger. These manifestations are not random fantasies of your subconscious, but rather real encounters with your spiritual protector, using the universal language of symbols to convey guidance that your waking mind might otherwise reject or question. It is in dreams that your guardian can clearly show you approaching dangers and the paths of protection that must be followed. The missionary self reveals itself through recurring dreams about specific activities, vocations that capture your attention, or scenarios where you are fully realizing your life purpose. Have you ever repeatedly dreamed of teaching, healing, creating art, leading people, or developing a specific skill? These dreams are not empty desires, but memories of the future, visions of what your soul came to accomplish in this earthly existence. The missionary self uses dreams to keep the sacred fire of your purpose alive, especially when everyday life threatens to extinguish it with its demands and distractions. It is through these nighttime visions that they fuel your motivation, plant seeds of inspiration, and constantly remind you that you possess unique gifts that the world is waiting to receive. Each dream about your unrealized potential is a loving call to awaken and act. The karmic being manifests itself in dreams through intriguing repetitions, similar situations that repeat themselves with slight variations, familiar faces of people you've never consciously met in this lifetime, or scenarios where you're facing moral and emotional dilemmas that echo your current challenges. You may often dream about past lives where you're reliving situations that created the karmic patterns you need to resolve today. These dreams can be intense and emotionally charged, bringing to the surface fears, guilt, resentments, or traumas that your soul has carried for a long time. The karmic being uses these dream experiences as a form of healing, allowing you to process and release blocked energies in a safe environment where your conscious mind cannot interfere with your usual defense mechanisms. EDGAR CAYCE, the famous seer known as the Sleeping Prophet, said that sleep is the sacred bridge where the soul communicates freely with these spiritual beings, free from the interference of ego and material concerns. During the dream state, your consciousness expands to dimensions where these guardians naturally reside, allowing direct communication that would be impossible in the waking state. This is why you often wake up with profound insights, solutions to complex problems, or a clear sense of direction that you cannot rationally explain. Your physical body rests, but your soul actively participates in spiritual gatherings where plans are made, guidance is received, and profound healings are performed. Each night of sleep is an opportunity to recalibrate your life with your highest spiritual truth. Ignoring your dreams is like deliberately refusing divine guidance that could transform your life in ways you can't even imagine. Many people treat dreams as irrelevant nighttime entertainment, completely missing the precious messages their spiritual guardians work so hard to convey. Every dream detail, every symbol, every emotion experienced during sleep carries fragments of wisdom that, when pieced together, form a detailed map of your spiritual growth. The color of the clothes you wear in the dream, the mood of the room, the people present, the objects that appear, all have specific meaning in the sacred language of your three spiritual companions. Learning to interpret this language is like gaining access to a cosmic library of personalized guidance. What messages have your dreams been trying to convey to you lately? Have you noticed recurring patterns or symbols in your dream experiences? Developing a conscious relationship with your dreams by writing them down immediately upon waking is one of the most powerful ways to strengthen your connection with these three spiritual beings. Keep a notebook by your bed and record everything you can remember, even if it seems fragmented or meaningless at first. Over time, patterns will emerge, symbols will recur, and a unique language will develop between you and your guardians. You will begin to recognize when the guardian is warning you about something, when the being of your mission is inspiring you to a specific action, or when the being of your karma is offering you an opportunity for healing. Your dreams will become a reliable source of spiritual guidance, a direct channel to the wisdom of the universe that is always available to those who learn to tune into its sacred frequency. The three spiritual beings exert a profound and constant influence on all your relationships, orchestrating encounters, disagreements, and relational dynamics that serve your spiritual growth in ways you are only beginning to understand. Your soul's guardian acts as a sophisticated energetic filter, subtly removing people whose vibrations could contaminate or drain your vital energy, while facilitating connections with individuals who nourish and elevate your spiritual frequency. It has the ability to detect hidden intentions, parasitic energies, and people who, while superficially attractive, carry emotional or spiritual burdens that could hinder your development. This is why you sometimes feel an inexplicable repulsion toward certain people, or conversely, a magnetic attraction to others you barely know. Your guardian is constantly working behind the scenes, creating resonance fields that attract what is beneficial and repel what is harmful. The mission being, in turn, orchestrates seemingly chance encounters with people who hold the keys, knowledge, or opportunities you need to advance toward your life purpose. That seemingly superficial conversation with a stranger in the elevator that ultimately changed your career outlook, that unexpected encounter in a bookstore that led to a transformative partnership, that person who showed up just when you were going through a crisis and offered the perfect guidance. These are all examples of the mission being working through human relationships. They're not just interested in pleasant or comfortable connections, but specifically in relationships that catalyze your growth and bring you closer to realizing your unique potential. Often, these people enter your life temporarily, fulfill their specific function of opening doors or expanding consciousness, and then go their own way, leaving you transformed by the experience. The being of karma plays a particularly intense role in your relationship life, placing before you those people who awaken your deepest, most unconscious reactions, forcing you to confront patterns of behavior you need to transcend. These are the relationships that completely take you out of your emotional comfort zone, the authoritarian boss who awakens your repressed anger, the romantic partner who activates all your fears of abandonment, the family member who manages to push all your emotional buttons with surgical precision. These people are not in your life to torture you, but rather to offer you golden opportunities for healing and spiritual growth. They act as unforgiving mirrors, reflecting back to you precisely those aspects of your personality that still need to be worked on, loved, and integrated. Every relationship conflict is a disguised lesson in forgiveness, compassion, patience, or self-love. Often someone enters your life not to remain as a long-term companion, but to fulfill a specific spiritual function and then depart, leaving you transformed by the shared experience. These are what Edgar Cayce called soul contracts, agreements made before birth, where two souls agree to meet at a specific time to exchange lessons, healing, or opportunities for growth. The person who betrayed you and taught you self-trust, that impossible love that opened your heart to deeper dimensions of feeling, that friend who challenged you to step out of your comfort zone and discover your courage, all these temporary but transformative relationships are careful orchestrations of your spiritual guardians. Recognizing this doesn't diminish the emotional intensity of these experiences, but it helps you process them with greater wisdom and acceptance. Recognizing the role of these three beings in your relationships prevents the unnecessary pain of excessive attachment and brings crystal clarity to the true spiritual purpose of these human encounters. You begin to see each person in your life as a gift from the universe. Some come as teachers disguised as adversaries, others as angels in human form offering support and guidance, and some as companions on your journey who walk alongside you for long periods, sharing mutual growth. This perspective transforms even the most difficult relationships into sacred opportunities for evolution. You learn to ask, "What is this person here to teach me?" instead of simply reacting emotionally to their provocations. Each relationship becomes a spiritual laboratory where you practice qualities such as patience, compassion, forgiveness, authentic communication, and unconditional love. Understanding the spiritual dimension of relationships also frees you from the neurotic need to please everyone or maintain connections that have already fulfilled their evolutionary purpose. You develop spiritual discernment to recognize when it's time to reach out and when it's time to walk away, when it's time to forgive and move on, and when it's necessary to establish healthy boundaries to protect your energy. In moments of intense crisis in your life, when everything seems to fall apart and you feel completely lost, this is precisely when the three spiritual beings act with greater intensity and coordination, creating a force field around you that, although invisible, is more real and powerful than any physical protection. It is during these existential storms that the veil between dimensions becomes thinner, allowing you to feel more clearly the presence of these sacred guardians working tirelessly on your behalf. The guardian of your soul intensifies its protection, creating an energetic bubble that prevents you from completely losing yourself in despair or making decisions that could cause irreparable damage to your spiritual journey. It is the guardian who whispers words of hope in your ear when you think you can no longer go on, who places special people in your path precisely when you most need human support. Your intuition becomes sharper during crises because your rational mind is temporarily silenced by the shock, allowing spiritual guidance to reach you with greater clarity. During these critical phases, you often experience powerful intuitions that seem to come from a source far beyond your conscious mind. Sudden insights into what to do, clear visions of necessary changes, or a profound understanding of the true meaning of the events you are experiencing. The mission being seizes these moments of vulnerability and openness to rekindle the sacred flame of your purpose with renewed intensity, reminding you that you have an important mission that cannot be interrupted by temporary circumstances. It is common that during the greatest crises, the greatest inspirations, the most transformative ideas, the clearest calls for profound changes in the direction of your life emerge. When everything is going wrong externally, something very powerful is realigning internally, preparing you for a quantum leap toward your most authentic truth. The apparent chaos is actually the universe rearranging the pieces of your life's puzzle into a configuration much more favorable to your growth. It is during crises that the being of karma presents its most intense and transformative lessons, creating situations that force you to consciously choose between repeating old patterns of reaction or taking an evolutionary leap toward higher, more loving responses. That devastating moment of betrayal that forces you to choose between resentment and forgiveness. That financial loss that forces you to completely redefine your values about security and abundance. That illness that makes you question everything about the meaning of life and your priorities. These are all intensified karmic opportunities, moments where decades of spiritual growth can occur in a matter of weeks or months. The being of karma doesn't create these situations to punish you, but to offer you the chance to definitively break cycles that have kept you trapped in limiting patterns. It's as if it's saying, the time has come for you to choose who you truly want to be in the face of adversity. These crisis situations are not cosmic accidents or divine punishments, but turning points carefully prepared by your spiritual guardians, sacred moments where destiny can completely change direction based on the choices you make. It's as if your entire previous life has been a preparation for these crucial moments where you demonstrate the level of consciousness you've truly developed. The Guardian ensures you have enough strength to not lose yourself completely. The being of the mission rekindles your connection to the greater purpose that justifies all temporary suffering, and the being of karma presents the golden opportunity to transcend limitations that might take many lifetimes to overcome under normal circumstances. Each crisis is simultaneously a test, an initiation, and an opportunity for spiritual rebirth into a higher frequency of existence. It is precisely in that precise moment of conscious choice between fear and love, between victimization and empowerment, between repetition and transformation, that your destiny can change forever, toward possibilities you couldn't even imagine before. The most challenging moments are energetic portals, where you can access reserves of strength, wisdom, and courage that normally lie dormant within you. It is when you discover that you are far stronger, more resilient, and more powerful than you ever suspected, that you possess inner resources that can transform even the most desperate situations into springboards for a completely new life. Your spiritual guardians know exactly how far they can take you before you break, and they always provide escape or relief at the precise moment, but not before you have extracted all the learning and growth possible from the experience. Understanding this sacred dynamic of crises completely transforms your relationship with life's challenges, allowing you to navigate storms with the serenity of knowing a greater purpose is being fulfilled. You learn to seek the hidden gift in every difficulty, the question being asked through every obstacle, the opportunity for growth hidden behind every apparent tragedy. Your crises become conscious rites of passage, sacred moments where you actively collaborate with your spiritual guardians to create a higher version of yourself. Instead of being a victim of circumstances, you become a conscious co-creator of your own transformation, dancing with the cosmic forces that have always been conspiring in favor of your spiritual evolution. Discovering the existence and constant action of these three spiritual beings in your life is much more than fascinating mystical knowledge or esoteric curiosity. It is a profound and urgent call to take full responsibility for your own existence and become a conscious participant in the cosmic dance of your destiny. This revelation marks the end of the era of spiritual unconsciousness, where you saw yourself as a victim of random circumstances, and the beginning of a new phase where you recognize yourself as an active co-creator of your reality in partnership with invisible forces that have always been working on your behalf. Awakening to this truth is like waking from a dream where you thought you were alone in a cold and indifferent universe, only to discover that you have always been surrounded by a spiritual support team dedicated exclusively to your growth and happiness. This awakening is not merely intellectual, but a visceral transformation that affects every fiber of your being, fundamentally changing how you interpret and respond to all the events of your life. When you truly understand that destiny is not something fixed and immutable, but rather a dynamic and fluid dance between your freedom of choice and the loving guidance of your spiritual guardians, your entire perspective on free will and determinism is completely transformed. You realize that you are neither completely in control nor completely at the mercy of fate, but rather in a sacred partnership where your conscious decisions are amplified and directed by a wisdom far greater than your individual mind. Every choice you make resonates through spiritual dimensions, being immediately perceived and responded to by your three guardians, who continually adjust their interventions based on the direction you are taking. It's as if you were the pilot of a sophisticated spaceship, but with a cosmic navigation system that automatically corrects for small course deviations and suggests alternative routes when necessary. Your freedom remains intact, but now it is a freedom informed and supported by infinite wisdom. Learning to actively recognize the presence and messages of these three beings transforms you from a passive victim of chance into a conscious co-creator of your path, capable of interpreting the signs, synchronicities, and guidance that have always been available but which you didn't know how to decode. You develop a new spiritual language, a cosmic literacy that allows you to read the symbols the universe constantly presents, that song that plays repeatedly at just the right moment with the exact lyrics you needed to hear, those numbers that appear in meaningful sequences, those impossible coincidences that confirm you are on the right path. Your dreams become regular spiritual consultations, your intuitions gain the status of divine guidance, and your entire life becomes a constant and conscious dialogue with the sacred. You learn to ask specific questions and wait for answers that arrive through multiple channels, sometimes through people, sometimes through events, sometimes through sudden insights that arise during meditation or moments of silence. The fundamental question that arises from this discovery is no longer, "Why is this happening to me?" but rather, "Am I willing to listen to and consciously collaborate with these three beings who are already by my side, working tirelessly for my highest good?" This shift in perspective is revolutionary because it moves you from the position of victim to that of active student, from passive spectator to engaged participant in your own spiritual evolution. Recognizing your guardians means accepting that you came to Earth with a specific spiritual curriculum to fulfill, that you have unique gifts to develop and offer to the world, and that each challenge you face is a disguised opportunity to strengthen spiritual muscles you didn't even know you possessed. This awareness brings a joyful responsibility, the responsibility to become the best version of yourself, not only for your own benefit, but as a contribution to the consciousness raising of all humanity. Awakening to this spiritual reality also means accepting that you are far more powerful, wise, and loved than you ever imagined, that you possess inner resources that can transform any situation, and that you are connected to a cosmic support network that never fails or abandons you. This revelation brings a profound trust in life, a peace that transcends external circumstances, and a joy that arises from the certainty that you are exactly where you need to be, experiencing exactly the experiences necessary for your maximum growth. You stop fighting life and learn to flow with it, recognizing that even the most difficult moments are gifts in disguise, offered by beings who love you unconditionally and desire only your happiness and evolution. This trust is not naivete, but rather a mature wisdom that recognizes the perfection hidden even in apparent chaos. Awakening to spiritual awareness transforms your life into a conscious, sacred adventure, where each day brings new opportunities for growth, service, and discovery into the infinite depths of your own divine potential. You stop seeking happiness outside of yourself and discover that you already carry within you everything you've ever sought: unconditional love, infinite wisdom, unlimited creative power, and an abiding connection with the sacred. Your three spiritual guardians become your personal advisors, your private teachers, your travel guides on a journey that reveals itself to be increasingly magical, meaningful, and transformative. Life ceases to be a burden and becomes a privilege, a confusing mystery and becomes an exciting adventure of self-discovery and loving service to the world. Now that you've discovered the three sacred beings that shape your spiritual destiny, the protective guardian of your soul, the tireless guide of your mission, and the loving teacher of your karma, it's time to reflect deeply on which of them you feel most present and active in your current life. Perhaps you recognize the guardian's constant protection through those intuitions that saved you from dangerous situations, or feel the insistent call of the being of the mission through recurring dreams about your true purpose, or identify the repetitive lessons of the being of karma through relational patterns that insist on manifesting. Share your personal experience in the comments, and together we will build this powerful chain of spiritual wisdom, where each individual testimony contributes to the collective awakening of humanity. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss any revelations that can completely transform your spiritual journey. Share this video with someone who urgently needs to understand that they are not alone on this earthly journey, that there is an invisible team of guardians working 24/7 on their behalf. Your destiny is not the product of blind chance, but rather a conscious and loving spiritual construction. And now you hold the golden key in your hands to open all the doors your guardians have prepared especially for you.